All right, so this morning I'm going to be speaking a lot to us to welcome us in few minutes, and I'm going to be talking about people and performance management. And we're going to look at it from the lens of what you will call talent factory. How do you use performance management to build, to develop, and to help your team, as the case may be? And that's going to be my keynote this morning. All right. Who can read French here? Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So you are here at Perform X not just because everything is fine, but you are here because there's a gap that you need to fill. And so because there is a gap, whether a gap in your system, a gap in your organization, a gap in your personal life, there's a gap that you see. And you look at it and you're asking yourself, I think I can be better than this. I think I can do better than this. You know, and you see yourself and you're telling yourself, how do I begin to execute as a person? How do I get to the point where I can move from just strategizing, just having a plan? It's good to have a plan. It's good to be able to diagnose and say, this is where I am going to. So how do I get there? What's my daily grind? How do I ensure that I am working towards it on a daily basis to ensure that I get it on? So let me also appreciate all our speakers here. Some of them are here with us, our moderators and all our panelists. Let me welcome them one after the other. Help me celebrate Mrs. Roke Aziz. Let's put our hands together for her co-founder, Wimbies. Make sure, Mrs. Adiola Aziz. Oh my. I have a friend called Roke Aziz, yes, last verb. Yes. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. So from the United States, let's appreciate Mr. Thompson. Thank you for being with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have the CEO of RefTop with us. He's also one of our speakers, David Asogwa. Let's put our hands together for him. Our moderator, Daniel Adeni. Keep clapping for them. Keep clapping. Then CEO of Cora, our official sponsor for Perform X. Headline sponsor, Dixon and Suffolk. Let's put our hands together for him. We have the CEO of Extra Large Farms, very phenomenal woman, Dr. Moji Davids. Let's put our hands together for her. My very dear sister, Vice President, Leadway Insurance, my dear sister, Kumbia Deoti. Let's put our hands together for her. Thank you so much. Yes, and a very, very special sister, Vice President, Sustainable, oh, you need to help me now. Sustainability Professional Institute of Nigeria, Spain. The very, very phenomenal Inia Bimbola. Let's put our hands together for her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go on from where we stopped. So I said you are here because you know that there's a gap that exists. And what we want to do at Perform X is that we want to close the gap. So tell somebody this morning, let's close the gap. The person in here, you will say it very well. Say, let's close the gap. Fantastic. Can you help me? Let's move on very fast. Media. It always happens everywhere. All right. So this is the reality of all things. 85% of leadership teams will spend less than 1 hour per month on talent strategy. So people spend less than 1 hour per month on talent strategy. And why do people? And it's very simple. People just don't see the reason why they should do it. And leadership is a core thing that we must begin to pay attention to in all our organizations to ensure that we close that gap. You did many hours, in your talent strategy. Let me tell you what I mean. Move on. Are you playing the talent lottery game? So why do you hire? Do you hire for gut feel and for resume pedigree? Or is that why you got hired? Is it because you want to promote just a brilliant jerk for yourself? Is it because of your annual reviews that would demotivate everyone, as the case may be, particularly every November, where you're talking about your productivity bonus and all of that for your staff? Your best people solving the same problems over and over. Moving on. So what's the alternative? We can't keep gambling that. We need a system. One of the most important things I've always spoken about is systems thinking. And we must always deal with things from systems perspective. And systems thinking will start from 3 layers. Number 1, your systems thinking must first affect your behavior. Everybody say behavior. Yeah, so your behavior must be affected first. After your behavior, the next thing is the system and the structure that is being built. Then number 3, where the real change really starts from, is what you call performance management. And I will use the word mental model. Until you have truly affected the mental model of a person, you have not truly changed the person. If you are dealing with the behavior, it's still okay. You are still at the beginning, but truly there's no change there. Then you build a system or a structure that actually sponsors that. The moment there's a structure, a system that is sponsoring it, now you are beginning to do something that makes a lot of sense. Until you get to the point where you are now able to affect the mental model, you have not truly done that. So we need to build a system. The talent factory system means that we can't be gambling. We can't be looking for luck. So what is luck? Luck is very simple. What if you can do something once and you can get it done, you can call it luck. But guess what? If you can do it once and you can repeat it again and again, then that's not luck. Now, that's now mastery. You see that now? And that's like you building a system. One of the things we've noticed is that people gamble a lot. People do things by luck, and people cannot exactly tell how they got certain results. And so there's no process documentation, there's no duplication of successes that happens to people. So what is important is that you must learn to build a system. And we're looking at it from 3 areas. Number 1, you're going to build. Number 2, you would develop. And number 3, you would retain. So in the place of building, simply talk about accuracy in hiring. Ensure that you are hiring right. Ensure you don't hire with emotions. And in case you are here, you are hired by emotions, and you know that by performance audits that you are not doing well, you need to also go for a check and speak to your people manager and say, I think there's a misfit somewhere. Build, hire right. Number 2 is learn to develop. So individual development plan, IDP, very important. And number 3 is a magnetic culture. Building a culture, which is what we call retain. You cannot exchange it for anything. I speak a lot about culture debt because I've seen that happening a lot to organizations now. And the reason is very simple. People began to generate revenues and they began to make a lot of money at the expense of actually growing and building a good culture. So a time will come in your business. This is what will happen. You may have generated a lot of revenue and good money, but a time would come where you would have to come back to the culture you refused to build. Now you are going to pay more for rebuilding your culture than doing it right at the first. So like we say, rebranding is more important or more expensive than branding. So reculturing is more expensive than culturing. So it's good to get it right from the beginning. So let me show you what I call the performance value matrix. So 4 important things I want us to look at. Now the first part is what I'll call the brilliant jerks. Now the brilliant jerks are like a cancer to culture. When you find, so I'm trying to put together what is your core value as an organization, and the other part speaks to your performance. And so from the bottom to the top, say from low to high, then from my right to the left, from low to high. You will find different people in organizations that you don't have to be emotional about. Please, if you find somebody who looks like a cancer, let me ask you a question. How does cancer start in the body? How does it start? So very little, right? Then so it begins to what? Spread. So the moment you leave a jerk in your system who can become a cancer, you're about to bring your system down. And so every time you identify it, very fast, get the person out of your system. Don't be emotional about, of course, go do it the right way, do some documentation around it, a process around it, get it done rightly, but you must get the person out of the system. That's a cancer to culture. But guess what? If the person is a brilliant, and I use the word brilliant jerk, it means that as a brilliant person, the person would have grown to a certain level. But it just means that from that level upward, there's a level of growth that the person cannot get into. So get the person out. Sometimes it's a wrong hire. When you get a wrong hire, it's still good. You can move them out quickly. There's a place for A players. When you find A players, many times when A players come, you see them in potential state. What you need to do is very simple. Try to build them, try to nurture them, and try to reward them. Try to reward them. And they are culture carriers. And which is what I really like. Culture carriers. These ones carry the DNA of your organization. These ones are very, very in tune with your core value. They are so much into your vision, into your mission. These are the ones that you should spend more time with. These are the ones that you send on training. These are the ones that you invest your resources into. They are coachable, and you can invest into them, and you can always deploy them. Are we together? No, we are not. Are we together? Yes. Now we are together. Moving on. So let's talk about the place of the growth spirit. Replace annual reviews with constant engine checks. And so we're speaking performance. You need a constant engine check. Constant check-in. Don't wait till you have annual review before you know what is happening in your organization. What happens to your daily check-in? What happens to your weekly check-in? What happens to quarterly appraisal? You need a constant engine check. So the old way is you wait for your annual retreat, your annual, your annual review, then you bring your goals together, then you have this surprise feedback, and all of that happens. No, you don't do that again. There's a factory way now. There's a factory talent way now to do it. Daily check-ins, weekly check-ins, monthly appraisal, quarterly sprints, constantly coaching your people. You know why? Because when you are removing blockers daily, when you're removing blockers weekly, you can solve problems instantly. So, for example, there's a problem in a group, and a department, and everybody's coming back because there's no meeting until the next 2 weeks, until the next 1 month. So imagine they're bringing your problems every 2 weeks, every 1 month. If you have meetings daily, you can remove the blockers. You can deal with it immediately. And that's a new way. You can't keep, what you call the A player, they would always seek growth. And so it's in your daily check-in. The diary of greatness is in daily routine. The diary of greatness of any organization is in the daily routine. It's not in the monthly routine, and it's not in the yearly routine. So it's important that we look at that. In 90 days, you can lead X project and present the result to the board, which is some form of accelerated growth. Let's look at the place of retaining, the place of the scorecard. Now, I read this book that I considered very, very powerful when I was studying some years ago on the 4DX. And he spoke very profoundly about how to deal with ambiguity and how to create gravity in the organization. So this is what I mean. Sometimes you don't know how to even measure the growth that you see. Sometimes you can't even measure the performance of people. And I hope you know that everything can be measured. Sales can be measured. Turnover can be measured. Everything can be measured. And that's why in the organization you don't use emotions. Everything can be measured. And so if you set it right and you have the right scoreboard, it's important. There are KPIs, there are metrics, there are responsibilities that people must be able. So the idea is get it right in telling yourself what is measurable and how do I measure it? How do I measure it? So there are key responsibilities, there are key metrics, and you can always check the impact. The impact is how does this role or how does this project fuel the company's vision? There are some things that you are doing that is not helping the vision of the organization. Remove it. Always connect yourself back to the purpose of the organization. Does it connect to it? It's beautiful. It is nice. It's good to do, but does it connect to the vision? It can be nice, but if it's not connected to your vision, you don't need to do anything about it. You don't need to do anything about it. Is it connected? So many times people will tell me, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And I say, oh, that sounds really nice. That sounds really good. But guess what? It's not part of my vision. And if it's not part of the vision, let's take it away. What do you do on Monday? Every day you get to the office, you're activating your factory. If you're a CEO, you're a founder, you're activating your talent factory. And you must always have that in mind. You're activating the factory. And so when you are doing that every day, it tells you that performance is key. So what's like your first 90-day factory playbook? Number one, learn to have an audit. Conduct the audit. Conduct the audit. Get 20 people on your performance value matrix and face the truth with your leadership. So for example, if you're a CEO here, more to the operation officers, you wake up every Monday and you get to work. One of the things you want to do is you check your talent factory. Look at the different departments. Is this making sense? Are we moving forward? Are we measuring rightly? You are having real-time performance value metrics. Number two is this. Score one role and set one OKR. How many of us know OKRs? We use OKRs in organizations. How many of us? Can I see your hand? Okay. Okay. All right. So, the OKR is like a more robust or advanced form of KPIs. Yes. So, when you're using KPIs, you have some metric with which you are using to measure things. So let me give you an example. Let me use a systemic example. I want the head of customer merchant success. I want the head of that team to onboard 5,000 new customers. I want to onboard 5,000 new customers. So, and the person says, okay, no problem. I will get 5,000 new customers in the first quarter of 2026. So the question is, how does the person get it? The moment you begin to dig deeper, you are now getting closer to using the OKR. OKR simply means your objectives and key results that ends with an initiative. So you start with an objective, and the CEO would always set the objective of every organization. The founder will set the direction. This is where we are going to. Now, the moment you set an objective, all the leaders in the organizations, leading different departments, they will now begin to connect to the objective. And so whether you are a worker here, CEO, CEO, whatever it is, look at how it works. The CEO will set an objective, just one. This is where we are going to in 2026. 2026, we want to make $3 million on our shop floor on a daily basis. Let's assume that's what you want to do as an organization. The CEO sets that. The moment the CEO sets that, it's very simple. Every leader, from the CEO to the managers, you are now going to key into the objective that the CEO says. And this is very simple. You will now look at your department and you will now set out your own personal objectives and key results from what the person has said. So you're telling yourself, what was said as an objective? How does this apply to me in HR? How does this apply to me in customer merchant success? How does this apply to me in product? How does this apply to me in this department and that department? So you now, by the time everybody sits down and they begin to generate their key results, you will see that no department can have the same thing. No department can have, because they are not doing the same thing. And the moment you have that, then you now begin to bring out initiatives from it. Initiatives are the things that you must do to be able to achieve that. Now, that is what you are checking in from your line manager, probably weekly, then monthly, and it goes on like that. Then when you get to the place of appraisal, it's very easy to have removed blockers daily and weekly for people. So people don't come to give just be given certain level of challenges that could have been solved many weeks before. Well, if you are interested and you want to start using the OKR model to help your organization to grow, you speak to us during PerformX or after PerformX. We help you to be able to develop soft structure, and it helps you to be better. I think it's not bad to market myself. That's good, right? So number 3, launch one sprint. Launch one sprint. Identify one high potential employee and co-create with that person a 90-day growth sprint with them. Show them you are invested in them. So, mentorship. Mentorship. If you're a founder here, ensure that you have a group of people that you are mentoring. If you're a COO, try to pick one person, minimum one person every quarter. Number 4, calibrate and commit. Simple way, and I'm making it very simple. Have 60-minute session with your team to align on what high performance and what core values actually look like in behavior and have a shared language. So let me give you an example. So when I was working for an organization, doing some work for an organization some years ago, I was using the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. How many of you remember that book by Stephen Covey? Now, one of the things we did with that book was that every week you are going to pick one habit and study it. When you study it, you will now begin to speak from what you do, the perspective of your own department, and begin to deal with issues going on in the organization. Apart from the conversation happening daily in the organization, when you come into, then we're not doing any remote work so much then, you come into the office, the first thing you will see is, tell me one of those habits of highly effective people. Who can tell me one? Goal setting? Yeah? Sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw. So let's pick sharpen the saw. Let's assume we are dealing with sharpen the saw this week. When you come into the office, the first thing you will see is sharpen the saw. You go to the walls, you see a lot of things around sharpen the saw. When you are correcting any behavior that week, you are using sharpen the saw principle to explain and to correct. At the end of the day, conversations are going on around sharpen the saw. Everybody comes out, they would not just be able to speak about sharpen the saw, they are already ingrained in it exactly what it means. For example, I remember one of the best times we had that week was when we were talking about seek first to understand before you are understood. That was a very, very powerful principle that I can never forget in one of the weeks. Seek first to understand before you are understood. And when people begin to delve into conversations as regards that and the system that they're operating with, it was truly a revelation on everything happening there. So, this is what the playbook looks like. Media, don't give up on me. So I spoke to you about OKR, the language of execution and impact. Objective, key results, and initiatives. What do you call objective? Objective is very simple. Where are we going to? And I think this page is like one important page you must have today. Ask yourself, where are you going to? If you're a founder, you are telling your people where you are going to. If you are an operations lead or a team lead, you are asking your boss, where are we going to? What is 2026 like? So, you must know, if you say that, you must first tell yourself where you are going to. If you don't have that direction, I'm so sorry, then why are you a leader? Where are you going to? You must create a picture that is inspirational. What you call the inspiring destination. Oh, this is the vision. We are going here. We are going there. We are doing this. Create that picture for the entire organization. Now, the next thing is key results. Now, how do I know I am getting there? If I say that we are going to, this is Victoria Island. If I say that we are going to Ikeja on the mainland, you see that I've set an objective. That's where we are going to. So, how do you know that we are on the way to Ikeja? Now, can I be on my route to VGC and say we are going to Ikeja? Is that true? So, can you imagine we're just all driving and we're just going? We say we are going out. Where we are going out, we don't know. There are leaders that run organizations like that. Let's just be moving. How do we know we are getting there? Which means that everything can be measured. The moment you get to Marina, you can tell that you are on your way there. The moment you either hit Ikorodu Road or you go through Third Mainland Bridge, you can tell yourself that we are getting close to the mainland. And before you know it, you can tell, oh, this is almost at Ikeja. How can you be on a journey and not know how to get there? Key result. So measurable, outcome-based evidence. Everything can be measured. Number 3, the initiatives. What do I need to do to get there? It's not just enough to say this is where we are going to. It's not enough to say this is how to get there. Another thing is, what do I need to do to get there? And that speaks to the task and the project that you run. The task, the project. And of course, in the process of the managers or the team leads getting this out, they are now beginning to talk about the tools to use, the tools that you must provide for them. How this is the project, this is the task, how are they going to get there? These are the things that they're going to work with. You know why? If you produce all of this for them, nobody should give you an excuse for not getting result. Are we together? We are not. Are we together? Now we are. So let's get away from vague duties. Let's get to measurable impact. And so let's stop playing. 2026, don't play. Hold yourself accountable as a leader. As an employee, hold yourself accountable also. No more vague duties. Let's learn to be able to measure our impact going forward. Systems for measurable impact. The old way, for example, you're managing marketing budget. No. And that's why I say that using KPIs may not really help you again. But if you're still a small organization, you will grow to a point where you see the limitation of just using KPIs to measure. You just tell yourself, let's have a marketing budget. So let's put like 2 million naira together. Let's do marketing for this organization. No. If you go the factory way, you speak the language that says achieve 21 return on investment on Q4 marketing spend. Now, this is very direct, very simple. Look at it. You are saying it's specific. Q4. When you say let's manage the marketing budget, it doesn't speak to time. It doesn't speak to action. It doesn't speak to how it can be measured. But the moment you are looking at it from the OKR perspective, look at this. You are telling yourself there is a ratio. You can tell yourself the ROI. You can tell yourself the time. It's time bound. Q4. This is what we are achieving on that marketing spend. So, as a full OKR, remember, objective, key result. So, the CEO sets the objective. You must have your own key result. At least have 2 to 3 out. 1, 2, 3. From this objective that is set, this is now my key result as a team lead that I must achieve. Who is lost? Are we still together? Very good. So let's put it all together. And so for me, this is how you're going to create a magnetic gravity for yourself. Number 1, you need radical clarity. Everybody say radical clarity. Don't guess. As a leader, stop guessing. This is where I am going to. Spend time curating your plan. And that's what they call strategy. This is where you are going to, and be clear. You see, if you are not clear, don't come out to talk to your people. Be clear. This is where I am going to. Radical clarity. Number 2, empowered autonomy. Empowered autonomy is stop micromanaging people. Stop micromanaging people. You see, in delegation, there are different cadres of delegation. There are people that you can say, go and do this thing for me, and show me every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes, your level of improvement, because that's where they are. There are people that you can say, oh, go get this task done. When you're almost done, just share your progress report with me. There are people that you can tell, go do it. You don't need to give me a feedback. Just go get it done. That's to let you, you will not give the task of that person to somebody who is just at the least level of delegation. So know where people are per time. Don't just delegate anyhow. Delegation is a skill. But most important, you are trying to tell yourself, I don't want to micromanage people. So how do you ensure you don't micromanage people? Teach them. Show them. Then make them work with you. Then guess what? Leave them to do it. People will make some mistakes, but just make sure that it's calculated risk. Number 3, visible impact. The good thing about the OKR is that it provides a constant, tangible line of sight between work and what you call your company's success. So, leaders, let's move from being chief visionary to now become chief talent officers. There are people who are stars, who are working in teams. They are stars. And their work shows. You can tell that in that team, oh, this person is the star. In that other team, this person is the star. You can actually say who the star is in every team. But guess what? As beautiful as that is, it is not sustainable. You can't have one star in a team. Okay, what happens when the star leaves the organization? So most times you see that when some people leave, you see the vacuum, you see the gap. Now, you don't need individual stars. What you need is that you need what you call talent investors. People who can duplicate their stars amongst other people. Does that make sense? So it means that I can sit down and tell myself, I know this thing well. I'm leading 4 people in a team. I will sit down, sit back, and allow the 4 people learn what I do, and guess what? Push them forward. That's talent investment. The world has moved beyond just being a star to becoming a talent investor. When you are a talent investor, you are duplicating leadership. You are showing next chapter leadership. You are producing more people. And that's why I say that as a leader, I think your real job is talent investment. So don't just be visionary. Be a chief talent officer. Your most important job is to be the architect of the system that turns human potential into execution power. I was speaking with the MD of Alpha Morgan just a few days ago, and he was sharing a few things about some things that happened, and said to me that, come, do you know that I relocated all my managers from the mainland, I brought them to the island. I said, that's very thoughtful of you. He said, I spent a lot of money doing that. He said, number 2, do you know that I gave them, what do you call it, a system to mortgage their homes. So I made sure they all got houses. I said, that's a very good one. He said, do you know that all my managers, I sent them to the top 5 Ivy League schools? And he said, but guess what happened to me? He said, 50% of them left me after that investment. So I went, he said, so if you say we should be talent investors, how exactly do you explain this? You know, and I said something. I said, it is true that some may have left you to go somewhere, but I think that it's painful, but guess what? It should also be a thing of pride. You know, because you wouldn't because people will leave you, not invest into them. Yes. You don't want tacky people to work for you. So people will leave. You also left somewhere. All of us left somewhere, right? I said that, see, it's going to be a thing of pride in the future. Just ensure that they stay connected to you all your life. That is duplication of leadership. That you can wake up one day and see 12 people that left you, and there are 12 CEOs in different organizations, and they can always say that we learned all we do from this particular CEO. I said, please, sir, change your perspective and begin to look in this direction. He said, wow. Individual star to talent management. Are we learning something? Yeah, let's move on. Build a legacy of execution. Next. What does a legacy of execution mean? It means that you are building a factory of talent invested into people. Now, you cannot be asking for a particular performance if you have not invested in the people. It is people management before performance management. It is people before performance. People before performance. People before performance. So you must be able to invest in the people first, right? Before you demand some level of performance. Let's tie it up. How many times have I said that today? We're almost done. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to believe that you are going to have a great time at Platform X. So please sit back, enjoy the thought leadership, learn from all the speakers here, learn from all the leaders here. I think it's just going to be a beautiful time, and the MC will take us through every stage. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.